Here we're going to practice writing and solving an equation, and we're going to use the steps over on the right. First, we're going to define our variable, then we're going to set up our equation and solve it, and then we're going to define our answer, making sure that we're answering the actual question. So here it says the grading period has ended and Chloe took 7 math tests during the grading period. However, she did not record 3 of her scores. She knows the 3 unrecorded test scores are the same. The scores she did record are 88, 94, 96, and 96. What score did she earn on each of the 3 tests if her average score for the period is 92? So step 1, define our variable. This is usually found in the question because a variable is an unknown number, something we're trying to find out. And it says, what score did she get on each of those 3 tests, those 3 missing tests? So let's say let x equal the score on those missing tests. Now, step 2 says to set up the equation, that's the most difficult part, and then solve it. So before I start just trying to come up with an equation, I like to create the structure of the equation. And this is stuff that you know. Like I know how to find the average. I've been doing that for a few years in school. If they're telling me the average is 92% and there's 7 tests, think how do I find the average? Well, if I have 7 tests, I'm going to add those 7 scores together. And remember, you always add them together and then divide by the number of numbers you added. So I would divide by 7, and that would give me my average test score. All right, that's the structure. That's something I know, and I'm kind of filling that out, and now I can start putting the numbers into this structure I've built for my equation. So what do we know? We know 4 of these test scores. Let's put those in. We also know the average is a 92. So let's put that here. But what do I put for these stars? Remember, these are those test scores I don't know. And that's our unknown. That's our variable. That's what we decided x is. So instead of those, I'm just going to put x plus x plus x. This is our equation. This is what we're now going to solve to find x. So I just rewrote the equation up here at the top. Now, where do we start? How do we solve this? Well, when you have an equation, you always look at both sides of the equal sign, see if there's anything we can simplify. There's no parentheses, nothing to distribute, but do you see any like terms? How about these? We can add those numbers together, and if we do, we get 374. Are there any other like terms? X plus x plus x. How many x's is that? 3 x's. So this is our new equation. Now, the way I read this is 374 plus 3x divided by 7. How do I undo that dividing by 7? You multiply by 7 because 7 divided by 7 is 1. What you do on one side, you have to do on the other side. So 92 times 7 is 644. So this is our new equation. Now let's start moving things away from the variable. X is being multiplied by 3. We're adding 374. I always undo what's added or subtracted first. So I'm going to subtract 374 from both sides, because that would cancel that out, and we're left with 3x equals 270. Almost done. X is being multiplied by 3, so we're going to undo that by dividing by 3. And we find out that x equals 90. So you don't want to put as the answer x equals 90. For a word problem, you always want to interpret what you found out. So look to the question. What score did she earn on each of the 3 tests? Remember, X is the score on those missing 3 tests. So I would say on each of the 3 tests, she earned a 90. Or on the 3 tests that she didn't have the scores for, she earned a 90.